Have you ever prayed for something you truly believed was good? A promotion, a healing, a relationship, and yet, nothing happened. You watched others receive the very thing you've been crying out for, and somewhere deep inside a quiet thought whispered, maybe God forgot me, but what if he didn't? What if the delay wasn't punishment but protection? What if your waiting season isn't a pause but preparation? Sometimes God's silence feels unbearable. You pray, but heaven stays quiet. You fast, but nothing changes. You serve faithfully, but no doors open. It's easy to assume he's not listening, that somehow your prayers got lost on their way to heaven. But silence doesn't mean absence. It's just because he isn't speaking doesn't mean he isn't working. Behind every divine delay, there's a hidden hand rearranging things in your favor. Think about Joseph. God gave him dreams of greatness. Yet before those dreams came true, Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison. 13 years of silence. 13 years of wondering. Did I misunderstand God? But in one night, God changed everything. When Pharaoh needed an interpreter for his dream, Joseph's time finally came. If God had promoted him earlier, he wouldn't have been ready to handle it. But when God's timing arrived, Joseph was prepared strong, humble, and wise. You see, when God delays, he's not denying your request. He's developing your character. He's teaching you to trust his process, not your schedule. Faith isn't proven in what we receive. It's proven in what we endure while waiting. Isaiah 42:31 says, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles." Waiting is not wasted time. It's sacred time. It's where roots grow deeper, motives become purified, and hearts learn to align with his will. We live in a world obsessed with speed. We want fast food, fast success, fast answers. But God doesn't move at Google speed. He moves at grace speed. While we crave microwave miracles, he's crafting masterpieces. 2 Peter 3-8 reminds us, "With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like a day." God isn't slow. He's strategic. Sometimes he delays your blessing because the environment isn't ready yet. Other times because you're not ready yet. If David had been crowned king before facing Goliath, he wouldn't have learned how to defend the throne. The waiting built the warrior within him. Your delay is not rejection, it's training. Let me tell you a story. A woman once prayed for years for a man she believed was the one. Every time they grew close, something went wrong. She cried, questioned, and almost gave up on love. Years later, she met her husband, a man who loved her, respected her, and led her closer to God. One evening, she whispered in prayer, "Lord, thank you for every no you gave me, because it led me to your yes." Sometimes the very thing you're begging for is the thing God is protecting you from. His delay is not cruelty, it's carefulness. He sees what we can't. Waiting can feel like a desert, dry, silent, endless. You wake up and feel stuck, like nothing is moving forward. The enemy whispers, "See, God forgot you." But the desert is not where God forgets you. It's where he forms you. Before Moses led Israel, he spent 40 years in the desert. Before Jesus began his ministry, he spent 40 days in the wilderness. The desert doesn't destroy destiny, it defines it. God uses isolation to strengthen intimacy. When he delays, he's not trying to break you. He's building endurance for the next battle. Sometimes God pauses your blessing because the people attached to your next season aren't in place yet. He's aligning connections, shifting circumstances, and preparing hearts. It's like an orchestra. Every instrument has its moment. If one starts too early, the whole song loses harmony. God's delays are divine tuning. You might not hear the music yet, but he's composing something beautiful behind the curtain. The danger is when impatience takes over. We start forcing outcomes, convincing ourselves we're helping God out. Abraham did that. God promised him a son, but when the wait felt too long, he acted on his own and birthed Ishmael instead of Isaac. That single moment of impatience caused generations of pain. When you rush God's plan, you may get what you want, but lose what you truly need. Don't build Ishmael while waiting for Isaac. Don't settle for good enough when God has greater prepared. Your timing gives comfort. God's timing gives completion. How do you know when your delay is divine? There are signs. You'll notice that you're being stretched but not shattered, uncomfortable yet not abandoned. That's growth. You will feel. Doors closing, but peace remaining, because the spirit within you knows it's not over. Will find yourself learning obedience in small, quiet tasks, because before God gives you the crown, he tests your character. And you'll discover you being refined by resistance. What used to offend you no longer does. What used to break you now builds you. Those aren't coincidences. They're confirmations that God is working beneath the surface. The real test in waiting isn't when will it happen, but will I still trust God when nothing happens? Job lost everything: family, health, wealth, and still declared, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. That's not blind faith. It's battle-tested faith. Anyone can praise God when blessings overflow, but true faith worships even when nothing moves. Worship during waiting is the purest kind of trust. It tells heaven, I don't need to see it to believe it. I just need to know you're in it. Waiting transforms when you shift your focus. Stop asking, why am I waiting? And start asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Maybe the blessing isn't the job, the relationship, or the breakthrough. Maybe you are the blessing God is building. Every day you wait faithfully, you're becoming more patient, more compassionate, more like him. And when the blessing finally arrives, you won't just receive it, you'll recognize it. Because it'll fit the version of you that waiting created. Think of a butterfly. Inside its cocoon, it looks trapped, stuck, lifeless, forgotten. But inside, transformation is happening. If someone cuts the cocoon too early, the butterfly never learns to fly. Struggle builds its wings. So when you feel stuck, remember, you're not buried. You're being built. Your waiting season is your cocoon. And one day when you finally emerge, you'll understand that God wasn't delaying you. He was developing you. Yes, waiting hurts. It hurts to see others moving forward while you stay still. It hurts to pray and not see progress. But every delay holds a divine purpose. God teaches patience when he says, wait. He teaches trust when he says, not yet. And he teaches faith when he says nothing at all. Don't confuse silence for absence. Your tears are seen. Your prayers are heard. Your story is still being written. If you could see what God sees, you'd thank him for every delay. That job you didn't get may have led to burnout. That relationship that ended may have saved you from heartbreak. That closed door may have protected you from danger. Psalm 37:7 says, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him, because when it's God's time, you won't have to chase or force anything. Doors will open naturally. The right people will show up. What once felt delayed will suddenly feel perfectly timed. There's an old parable about a farmer who planted 2 fields. One grew fast, green, lush, beautiful. The other seemed barren and lifeless. When a storm came, the first field, grown too quickly, was destroyed. But the second field thrived because its roots had grown deep underground. That's you. God's growing your roots before showing your fruit. Deep roots survive storms. And here's the beautiful part. When the wait finally ends, you'll understand why it had to take so long. Every tear, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer will make sense in one divine moment. And you'll whisper, God, you were right all along. Because his blessings never arrive early or late. They arrive exactly when you're ready to carry them. The version of you who started waiting isn't the same version who will receive the promise. You'll be wiser, humbler, stronger, the kind of person who can handle what once only dreamed of. So if you're in a waiting season right now, don't rush out of it. Don't despise it. Don't mistake it for rejection. God is still writing. He's still weaving your story behind the scenes. Sometimes his greatest work happens in the quietest chapters. The waiting room is where heaven does its deepest surgery. Here's the truth. Delay is not denial.
Waiting is not wasted.
Silence is not abandonment. The blessing you re-praying for is already prepared. God is just preparing you for it. The question isn't, will God come through? The question is, will you keep trusting while he does? Because the blessing is coming. But the real miracle is who you become while you wait.
Oh.
If this message touched your heart, write the word wait in the comments.
Wait.
Let it be your declaration that you'll trust God as timing, even when you can trace his plan. And don't forget to subscribe, because next week, We'll talk about what to do when God seems silent. Until then, keep waiting faithfully, because He's never late. He's just preparing greatness in secret.